It's currently 9:30 p.m. Although I was at uni since this morning and I was doing rehearsals and lessons and stuff like that, I just needed a big break from playing today. I'm only here to practice for like a couple hours because yesterday I practiced for like 7 hours and my hands are like so tight. Like I think this part of my arm gets really tight when I practice for that long. So today's practice is only going to be based around like detail stuff without having to strain my arms. I mean, strain's not the right word, like without having to put full effort into it. And I just want to quickly go through my Beethoven Sonata today. I'm going to be practicing Waldstein. Since I haven't learned all the notes yet, I'm going to be using my iPad. And usually I'll refrain from using an iPad to learn my solo pieces, but this piece, the pages go by so fast and I don't really have time to take my hands off and turn the pages. Like I'm not a great page turner, so I want to use my iPad, and luckily I found that Henley version of the sonata I'm playing. This device here is going to help me turn pages without having to take my hand off. The way this works is that I put it right next to the pedal, the sustaining pedal and the soft pedal. I use my left feet to press on this. Magic. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be going full effort in this practice session. Lately, I've been having some technical issues, especially in classical sonatas, where I take my hands out of the keyboard too much to the point when I come back down, I lose control. So this practice session, my main focus is going to be keeping my hands always touching the piano without taking it off. Now, we first start off with the really infamous pianissimo beginning, and it's super hard because when you play in a room you're not used to and also an instrument that you've never practiced on, it's pretty much impossible to get the opening right. That's why I need to stick to the keys, because if I do, that's not good control. One professor told me that Beethoven had this obsession of nature, of expressing nature in his music. And then the way he interpreted the beginning was the rumbling of the universe. And if the universe is rumbling, it's pretty consistent, right? So although it's pianissimo, I need to have that depth of sound and it has to be consistent. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Same thing here. Okay, I'm just thinking about keeping my hands very, very still and using only minimal movements, like the least amount of movement possible to play this. Because the more you move your hand, the less control you'll have over the notes. I had a lesson with my teacher today and he actually recommended me changing the fingering to only using 1, 2, 3, which is a pretty interesting idea, between bars 23 and 26. Playing this with your fifth finger is just really, really difficult, especially at full tempo. It's gonna be so fast. To be slightly more nuanced, when I say my main focus is keeping my hands on the keys, the benefit of that is that the notes are all going to sound consistent. So that's my main focus actually, is to keep all the notes consistent as if it's played by the same finger. Because as you know, the pinky and our ring finger are the smallest and these three fingers are very big. Being a pianist means it's always a challenge to make your pinky sound the same as your thumb. this section we have, what do you call it, like 4-part chorale. Since we only have 2 fingers, the challenge is how do we play this legato in all voices? There's thirds, man. So in my opinion, in this first movement, whenever there's triplets, it's generally really legato. And the best example of this is at bar 56 going over to 58, the very legato. And at 58 it switches to. So that transition is actually always a challenge. Also because I'm just not good enough to play it well. Oh, my hands are so tired. It goes from the very light, like. And then the left hand jumping down in bar 60. I need to make sure that I'm not taking my hand off too high so that it doesn't like crash down. And that's just really hard to do. Actually, do you know what this part is? I'm pretty sure it's the same thing because Beethoven's quoting Mozart there. this piece, similar to the beginning, is that he writes so many pianissimos, but if you look at the tempo marking, it's allegro con brio, right? Which means it can't be like... There needs to be this underlying intensity even throughout the pianissimo, and I think that's just, yeah, everything's a little bit too hard. The whole section before this was forte, and then we build up again to forte, and then Beethoven writes fortissimo, fortissimo, forte. And how do you do that expressively and effectively? Playing fortissimo all the way through, it's just gonna sound like bashing, you know? And also, more importantly, there's no contrast between 54 and 55, right? So the way I am approaching it is I do the sforzando on beat 1 and 3. And then 55, every single note is going to be fortissimo. And I feel like that works really well. Let's skip over to 249. situations again where it's super difficult because unfortunately Beethoven writes it in pianissimo. So I need to make sure I'm stuck really close to the keys so that if I lift my fingers up too much, it sounds like this. Right? Okay, let me try that again. Like if it was an expensive piano, not expensive, but like good quality piano, I would be able to play this better. You see, some keys I blame the equipment. I hope this was a good video. I hope you learned something from watching me practice. I think classical music in general is just such a cooked career path because you literally have to prepare so much for so long, and then the only time you get paid or like recognized for your work is once you're up on the stage, and that might only last like a couple minutes. This is my humble attempt to try and get something out of playing the piano, which exceeds the stage time, right? I don't know, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe. I'll try to make more consistent uploads and more videos of me practicing. Maybe you might have a request on a piece that I should practice, or that you might want to hear me practice. Let me know that in the comments. If you stay till the end of the video, I love you.